I don't know when I'll get a chance to do some linear algebra, given that it's Thanksgiving 2023. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you in North America who are celebrating it. And I don't really know when I'm going to get to do linear algebra because I've got a good, probably a whole year of doing some analysis, real analysis, some complex analysis, go deep. But definitely, I want to get to this. So an interesting story about this book. I've mentioned it before, but I wanted to make a focus video for it. So this video is really about this book. So Halmos wrote many books, and he was a really good expositor or writer of math books. And so how I found out about this book is because I was briefly surveying linear algebra done right, which I've read parts of before, very briefly, just like a few pages. And this book is about to come out with a new edition, and this book is actually very affordable. So if you go out and you want to read it, use it, I recommend that you go out and check the latest edition, which I believe is going to be the 4th. In my case, when I get around to it, I'm just going to use this one because money does not grow on trees around here. And so I have to be very careful with how many books I get. But in the case of Axler, he plays with the field F. And the subset of the field F is the reals and the complex numbers. And I love that. I think that's very creative. And the way he gets to linear maps, which I need to learn a lot more about, yeah, this book is great. And I want to get to do it. I would love that it was more wordy just because in my own style. There's F. I like wordy. I like wordy for sure. I would have loved if Axler had done a book for babies version of this that was a good 600 pages. Really, that's what, even though it would have had a lot of what other people would call fat. That's just the way that I like to read because I'm a baby. So how I found out about this book, that's what I'm getting at, is it was mentioned here. Okay. Finite dimensional vector spaces, which is chapter 2. And so these two books really complement each other very well. Now, I'm going to get back to Halmos's book, but on the subject of linear algebra, there are books that are more on the engineering side, and Strang has done some great books. So I personally recommend this book, and I've read parts of it as well, but I haven't gone through it the way that I like to go through a book where I read the whole thing. God willing, someday I will. And so this book is, yeah, it's just and by the way, if you don't know it, you should. Strang has some fantastic videos on the OCW website and the OCW YouTube channel. So yeah, I recommend you go there and check them out. Yeah, Strang, the best. So awesome. I love watching him on YouTube. And then, of course, there's this harder book, which has more of a theory bent, really in the way of these other two books. And this is yet another book that I've read parts of, but I haven't sat down and gone through it all. Again, the way that I learn, I have to go linearly. So, but I wanted to show it as well while I'm here. And so it's got a more theoretical way to look at linear algebra, the same way as Axler has done. So there's lots of requirements for proofs. It's got a lot of proofs. Yeah, that's what I call FIS, Friedberg, Insel, Spence. But back to Halmos. I think from a collecting perspective, this book is very interesting because it can be found at reasonable prices, and I don't think I paid that much for this book, and it was brand new. We're a little bit removed from how Halmos wrote this book to how books are written today, but I really like what he says about, let me see where it is. Yeah, here it goes. This is the sentence that I was looking for. The idea is to emphasize the simple geometric notions common to many parts of mathematics and its applications, and to do so in a language that gives away the trade secrets and tells the student what is in the back of the minds of people proving theorems about integral equations and Hilbert spaces. So what I really love about this book is it is really, really meaty. And I scanned, I cannot possibly say that I read, but I scanned this book while at a car dealer for like 2 hours. And I would love to go through it very carefully, but I haven't figured out how or when. Do I do a basic linear algebra book first? I mean, I know you have linear algebra to be dangerous from engineering and physics, but do I do the basic one or the proofs one or both? I don't really know. I have no idea, but I know that I want to read this book, and I just love the way Halmos goes very deep. And luckily, unlike Rudin, Halmos is, I think, a lot less cryptic, which I like. So, yeah, this is a beautiful book. Let me go through the table of contents again, just so you guys can see it carefully if you want to stop the video and look at the table of contents. Yeah, I think you can stop the video if I do that. And I think you can stop the video there as well. So yeah, the book can be had for a reasonable price used, and it will probably be new. Because of the type of book that it is, I think a lot of people end up buying it and not reading it, unfortunately. Because I think, my opinion is, it's a little old style, so it's hard to get into, but also it's just very dense. And most people who want to learn linear algebra, back when this book was published and since, are interested in things like that have engineering applications. I know today, these days, all the artificial intelligence modeling is really just matrices. And so that's where a lot of people come from into linear algebra. But I like the treatment of direct sums, direct products in this book. I've read parts of it before. And the more that I read in other books, the more that I find that I go back into this book and there's something in it for me.